So the month of October has been a pretty decent month for AFC Wimbledon. I mean, our home form has been obviously outstanding, still have not lost a game at Plough Lane. And now we are the only team in the whole of the 92 who have not lost a game at home. And we are unbeaten, 100% record at Plough Lane. Away from, on the other hand, we have still only won one away game all season, which was against Cheltenham very early on in the season. I think this month we've learned a lot about the squad. We've learned about how good we can be, and we'll get onto that in a minute because I think obviously we're not picking up wins away from home, but we are still creating chances, getting better. And in this video, I'll go through how we need to be better away from home as well. As we do have some pretty important away games coming up in November and before the new year. So, as I said, in this video, we will be reviewing the whole of October. It's been a pretty decent month, so let's get into it now. So, in the first week of October, it was 2 losses away from home. First of all, Newcastle away from home. A really good day out for everyone. To be honest with you, it was a very big success off the pitch. We got a lot of money from the game. Obviously, the Plough Lane pitch was destroyed from the flooding of the River Wandle and the excessive amount of rain. So that got rearranged to the 1st of October at St James's Park. Quite a lot of fans went up there as well, had a great time out, sang their hearts out. We only lost 1-0, so it was a pretty positive result in that sense. Also gaining a lot of money back for the pitch to develop it and get it back to how it is, and now obviously we're back at Plough Lane, scoring goals, winning games, continuing our amazing home form, which is what we love to see. So yeah, that was the first game in October, a 1-0 loss to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Not too bad. You can't really complain about that, even though we maybe should have got a better result from the game. But the next game out, Salford away, losing 1-0 away again in the same week was definitely not what Wimbledon fans expected to happen. I mean, Salford were not in the best of home, not in the best of home form, not in the best of any sort of form in the league at that time of moment. It's disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, that kind of started to show that we were creating chances away from home. We did play well against Salford, but we just couldn't be we just weren't clinical enough. Definitely should have at least got a draw out of the game. Maybe one of the ball did go over the line in one of the shots by Omar Bugle, but then they went on the counter-attack. Joe Lewis came off injured, and then they stuck one into the back of the net. They were more clinical than us on the end of the day. So it is what it is. And then Wimbledon definitely did respond well. 2 wins on the bounce of a 4-3 win over League One Crawley in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, which was a great game. Sent us through to the round of 16. I believe we do play Brighton at home tonight. So we will see what happens in that game. But I do believe we are already through in that competition. And then on the weekend after that, we had an impressive 4-0 win over Carlisle with Matty Stevens getting a hat-trick, which was absolutely brilliant for his confidence. And we'll get on to Matty Stevens in a minute because I will be going through my player of the month. He was in the top 3. I can give you that. And I will be going through my goal of the month as well. It may be a little bit self-explanatory, but we will see what you guys think. So yeah, 2 wins in that week. I think it was really good. It was well needed after 2 losses in a space of a week to Newcastle and Salford, kind of just to give fans confidence back into the players. In the Crawley game, we had Matty Stevens getting back on the score sheet, Joe Pigott getting back on the score sheet, James Tilley and Callum Maycock netting as well, which is really good to see for their confidence, as they haven't scored too many goals before that 4-3 win over League One Crawley in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. And then the last week saw 3 games being played. First of all, a 1-0 loss to Notts County away from home. Definitely should have got more out of the game. This followed with a 3-0 win over League One strugglers Morecambe. James Tilley netting his first goal of the season in the league, which is really good to see for his confidence. Matty Stevens getting on the score sheet again, going to top goal scorer in the league for Wimbledon, and Omar Bugle getting his confidence back, scoring another goal. Then a disappointing 3-2 loss after a disastrous first 11 minutes against Port Vale on the weekend. We played really well other than the first 11 minutes up conceding 2 in the first 11 minutes, which is so disappointing. Had chances with Josh Newville scoring. Miles Hippolyte had that amazing last-ditch chance at the end of the game. Not sure how Port Vale kept it out, to be honest. But those have been our results so far in October. A decent month. I think we've learned a lot. And now in the second half of part of the video, we're going to go through why the away form has not been too good. We're going to go through the top 3 players of the month, going from third, second to first, goal of the month, and then anything else that I decide to do. So yeah, now let's go on to talking about why our away form isn't too good and how it can be improved for the rest of the season. So let's get on to talking about AFC Wimbledon's away form so far in the season. We've played quite a few games away from home now, only won one, which was a 1-0 win away at Cheltenham. It's really tough to see what is actually going wrong away from home. Like, you look at Johnny Jackson's interviews that he's done in the past couple away games, and he's always saying how we're playing well, creating chances, having possession, but we're just not being clinical at the end of the day. It was improved in our last game away at Port Vale in the 3-2 loss last weekend, as we did create quite a few chances in the first half. We had Matty Stevens hitting the post. Omar Bugle forced a really good save out of the Port Vale keeper, Connor Ripley, was eyeing up into that top corner. And then we had the second half, Josh Newville, Miles Hippolyte getting on the score sheets. I think the only thing is, it seems like at home, we're clinical, creating chances, having possession, and barely having any mistakes. We're keeping the ball, we're frustrating the away teams, it seems like it. We're being physical, and it just seems like away from home, teams are trying to do what we do to teams at home. It seems like Port Vale, they're obviously not the most physical side, but they tried to bully us. They won every single second ball in the first 11 minutes, forcing them in, and them gaining 2 goals from it. I think the only thing is, pretty much at home, we're not forcing anything. We're being physical, we're doing the right thing, we're keeping possession, we're slowing the game down, and then we quickly go on the break with Josh Newville, James Tilley on the wing, whoever it may be, or we might force it through midfield. But it seems like away from home, the home teams are trying to be more physical against us. We haven't conceded too many goals. That could be why. So it's a really tough one. The mistakes as well. At home, we are barely creating any mistakes. Obviously, we've only conceded 2 goals at home in the league, and they were from 2 goals against Colchester. So we've barely created any sort of mistakes leading up to any sort of goals, because we've been pretty much perfect at every single home game. It just seems like away from home, teams are pressing us higher. We're not really used to that. They're trying to be more physical than us. They're forcing us down. They're trying to get some nippy fouls. And I think that's what is causing mistakes away from home. Ryan Johnson had 2 mistakes against Port Vale, led to their first 2 goals. And you could also counter-argument that for the 3rd goal as well. Salford away, that goal should have never happened. So it's really interesting to see why we aren't actually scoring goals away from home, but we are still playing well. Like Port Vale, we had 55% possession, which we haven't really seen so far in away games. So it's interesting in that factor. I do think the away performances will get a lot better. We have some tough away games in November. We have MK, which, what a way that would be to turn around our away form. We have 1,500 plus Wombles that are travelling up to Bletchley on Sunday lunchtime, pretty much. We have Barrow away, which is really tough as well in November. I think it will improve. I think we'll go and beat MK on Saturday. There will be a match preview out soon in the next couple of days. Barrow is a tough one as well, but I think it's a really good test on Sunday to go and turn our away form round. We beat them 3-0 at Plough Lane. Why can't we go do that again? I do not see why not. And then when we do finally win an away game, when we do take our chances, win comfortably, have the most amount of possession, I am sure that I will see Wimbledon, but that we will all see Wimbledon gain more away form, because that's what we need to get up the table at the end of the day. So now, the final bit of the video, let's go through the top 3 players of the month, and then we'll go through our goal of the month, which is pretty self-explanatory. But we'll start with number 3. I've gone Owen Goodman I think he's been sensational so far this season. Had a interesting start to life at Wimbledon, conceding 2 goals in the first 10 minutes against his former side, Colchester. But ever since, he's been really well. He's grown into the season, definitely. And the fact that he's had Joe Lewis, Ryan Johnson, James Ball, Riley Harbottle in front of him, I think that's really helped. But Owen is the type of keeper to have some sort of mistakes every once in a while, but then also pull out a worldie. Against Port Vale, he made some really good saves. Against Notts County, he made some really good saves. Even Morecambe definitely wasn't talked about enough. I think in the second half, when we were 3-0 up, Morecambe went 1-on-1 about 2 times in the last 10 minutes. And Owen Goodman made a really, really good save. He's joint top, I do believe, with the Port Vale keeper and the Crewe Alexandra keeper with the most clean sheets in the league so far. So that just shows how well he has done so far in the season. Also getting coached by Bezo has also helped a lot. But I think he works on confidence. He gets better on confidence. When the fans are singing his name, he gets 110% better. And I think so far, so good by Owen Goodman. Let's just hope he can continue that form. In second place, I've gone with James Tilley. I think this month he's been really good. He got 3 assists. You can counter-argument 4 assists against Carlisle in our 4-0 win. His crossing has been sensational. He's moved over to the other side as a kind of inverted wing-back, getting up there, getting back, defending really well as well. And when he goes forward, he's positive, trying to take on his man, not trying to go back, getting crosses in early, because we do have players in the box who can be dangerous from those crosses. He's also had a good month in front of goal as well, scoring 2 goals, one against Crawley and one against Morecambe. So you can see the confidence that he has brought back into the squad. Johnny Jackson obviously had a decent amount of trust with James Tilley after James Furlong did start pretty well in the season. So yeah, he goes into second place from the top 3 players of the month. And my player of the month is Matty Stevens. Scored 5 goals this month, a hat-trick against Carlisle, 1 against Crawley and 1 against Morecambe. He's now the top goal scorer for AFC Wimbledon this season. He's just clinical in front of goal. He's that type of League 2 striker which you want. He's a poacher. He's everywhere. He's quick. He's physical. He can even jump in the air and score headers, as we've seen from his goal against Ipswich Town in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, I think he deserves it, to be honest. Other players might have contributed better to the squads in assists, in trying harder, being more physical. But I think with the amount of goals that he scored, it's gave Wimbledon a platform, and everyone else has kind of done well around him. Everyone's supported him. Everyone's got the assist for him. So I think everyone's done extraordinarily well. Alistair Smith, Miles Hippolyte, Callum Maycock, you could even say he's now involved in the squad, starting every single game, which I think he's deserved. I really liked him in pre-season. I was a little bit disappointed when he didn't start. But yeah, Matty Stevens gets first place for me. And finally, goal of the month. I think it could even be goal of the season at the end of the season come May. James Tilley versus Morecambe. What a strike it was. To score that type of goal when you haven't scored a goal in the league since Crewe at home in September 2023 is something absolutely sensational. But yeah, as I said, James Tilley has been absolutely amazing this month, and hopefully that can carry on. We are starting to see the old James Tilley from when he just signed, scoring pretty much every single game when Ali was missing penalties and stuff like that. So James Tilley obviously does deserve goal of the month, and deserves a massive contribution to helping the side win games this month. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this month of football at Wimbledon. What you think's gone well, what you think hasn't gone too well. What do you want to change in the lineup? How do you think the away form will carry on? Do you think it will get worse? Do you think it will get better? How do we go about changing that? And how excited are you for MK on Saturday? We will be there. But yeah, thank you for watching. This will kind of be an annual monthly video, just reviewing the month and getting everything down about that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Come on, you dons.